And what is up, everybody? Okay. I've mentioned the fact that I'm a two-time IBJJF bronze medalist, and in New York, basically, what it was I competed twice in the IBJJF New York International Open, and it was a fun time both times. I got to meet a lot of the different Jiu-jitsu stars, Gabriel Gonzaga, Enzo Gracie, um, Hoyler Gracie, Ty Mock. That's right, Bruce, the original Bruce Leroy. So it's very, very interesting, and it's a great time too, as far as martial arts. It's a great competition, very prestigious competition. But I, but there's so many other different competitions, and not to mention the fact that as big as they are, you'd be surprised how many people won't show up, which I find ridiculous. Uh, Basically, because you'll have divisions that'll only have 2 fighters, or maybe 3 fighters. Okay, so at IBJJF, they don't do double elimination for third place. They have they give away 2 bronze medals. Okay, so 2 guys tie for third place, which is which is cool. Which is somewhat understandable, considering they got so many people. They kind of press for time. It's like still trying to hurry it along, depending on who's there, because they got so many people. Like, it was ridiculous. Last year, as a matter of fact, I tried registering for the spring, and they said, it's like, we're already at capacity. It's like, what are you talking about? You have like 5 different divisions with only 1 person in it, and you're telling me you're at capacity. It doesn't make any sense, especially since, regardless of how many people sign up, you're gonna have the same amount of winners every time. There's only gonna be 1 gold medal that you have to give away for every division. What's the problem? You have 1 gold, 1 silver, and 2 bronze for every division. Doesn't matter how many people come to compete. You're gonna have the same. Amount of winners. But I wasn't able to do it because, and it wasn't even because I didn't meet the deadline. They said that they were already full. Like I said, which is stupid. But that being said, me being an ultra heavyweight, okay, and the as a blue belt, I'm a purple belt now, but when I was a blue belt, the first time I competed, there was only 4 guys, and basically I'd have gotten the bronze medal just for showing up. Then my first fight, a guy was an inch shorter than me. I was 10 pounds heavy, an inch shorter than me and 10 pounds heavier than me. He didn't beat me. I just ran out of time. It was a hell of a fight, but unfortunately, it went in his favor. Good on him, but he wound up losing the next match, and that's how it went. They kept asking me, it was like, yeah, why don't you, come on, fight in the open division. Like, dude, I wasn't even ready for this one. It's like, I'll try. I was like, maybe next time I'll do it. So the following year, I didn't compete. The year after, 2013, I fought again. This time it was 6 guys. 6 guys, once again, ultra heavyweight. That is the heaviest weight class, from 230 pounds to, if you could fit your big butt through the door to get on the mat. That's basically what ultra heavyweight is. So what winds up happening is I get there, and I get up there, on the second match in my division, which sucks because I thought that they were going to give somebody a bye into the finals, or basically have, since there were 6 guys, I figured they'd have 3 matches, and then, because if there's only 3 people, what they'll do is they'll have a double elimination for third that way. So basically, first round, whoever loses that has to fight again, and if they beat that guy, they get second place. If they lose, they get third place. and the guy who just finished beating him. So now you got 2 losses to your record, which sucks. And then the guy who just finished beating him advances to the finals, and if he if he loses, he'll get second place. So no big deal. And like everybody gets to go home with some. Everybody gets to go home with something. Granted, you don't want to be the guy like that. Everybody is talking about how, like, oh, you just everybody gets a trophy now and anything like that. It's not that kind of competition. Just keep in mind, I weigh 270 pounds. I am 32 years old. How many 32-year-old purple belt ultra heavyweights are there in New York, in the tri-state area, in the Northeast? Keep in mind, it's an international tournament. I've seen guys, from as far as Maine come to, the last time I competed, there was this little girl. She was a white belt. This little girl coming all the way from Arkansas. Okay? It's like you couldn't wait till there was a tournament close to you. No, she came all the way to New York for a shot. And she won. She won her division, which kudos to her. This girl, it's not like, oh yeah, she came to Arkansas and came back. No, she didn't have enough money for for a plane ticket. Jumped on the bus. Didn't even have enough money to get back on the bus. She took a one-way trip to New York for a chance at winning. Didn't have anybody in her corner. Didn't have any, didn't really have anybody to train with. No place to stay. Just, I'm going to fight and I'm going to win. That was the only thing running through her head. And you're telling me that you can't compete? Because the first time I fought and I showed everybody, it's like, yeah, I won 3rd place. The idiot goes, yeah, you won 3rd. Yeah, 3rd out of 3 people, right? Well, keep in mind, you got to train at least, like for adults, you have to be in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for at least 2 years. So for you to be running your mouth and saying that, oh yeah, 3rd out of 3 people, that means you have to put you have to invest 2 years of your life into what I've been doing to even get to my level, for you to even have the right to even think about competing in what I just did, but you couldn't do it, and you're going to be running your mouth. It's open. These tournaments are open to everybody. There's some guys who, especially in my weight class now, and in Naga, I want the Naga championship belt. I don't care if I never compete again if I just win the Naga championship belt. That's it. They basically, when it comes to my level, the only downside is that now they have you fighting, your purple belt fighting brown belts and black belts at the same time. That's not fair, but at the same time, you got to do what you got to do, And what winds up happening is, in my weight class, because I weigh so much, and especially in my age group, there's not going to be that many guys that'll come for some reason. Because like I said, how many of them are in New York? How many of them are in the tri-state area, the Northeast region, stuff like that. And that little girl from Arkansas comes all the way to New York, So no excuses. So if I show up and there's only one other guy there, I beat him, I win the belt, yes, I won. That's all there is to it. I won that tournament. That's the only thing. That's the only thing you could say. Because some guys will be like, you only had to fight one guy, or you only had to fight one guy. Whose fault was that? Someone tried throwing that in my face the first time I fought. It's like, oh yeah, but the only reason why you got a medal was because, mind you, this guy just finished losing his match. Only reason why you got a medal was because there was only 4 people. It's like, dude, you just got owned. It's not my fault there was only 4 people. You know, let me put it to you like this: in a tournament where everybody everybody that is at your level is invited to come and compete. If they don't show up, you beat them. If they don't show up in a tournament that all they had to do was come, pay pay the price to compete, come in and compete. If they didn't show up, if they didn't like, nah, I'm not competing that time, then you already beat them. That's all there is to it. Granted, it doesn't count on your official record, but if it's open to everybody and not everybody shows up, that's not your problem. It's not their problem. If everybody has the equal opportunity to come in and either kick butt or get their butt kicked, and they don't want to show up to do either, it's not the person who signs up's fault. You only get so what? You get third place out of 3 people. It's not your fault. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 never showed up. You know. Granted, if you're the only person there, it is gonna feel. I will say this: if you're the only person that shows up in your division, and so they give you the gold medal or they give you the belt, and you're like, yeah, I'm the champion, I'm on the belts. Like, dude, seriously, come on, like, at least fight one person for it. Come on, you know. For guys who only had to fight the one person, or for guys who would have gotten third place just for showing up, because nobody else was there. Because that's what happened to me my first time. The second time there were 6 guys, and if I didn't win my first match, I would have went home with just a T-shirt. I won the first match, and then they put me up against. They gave the other 2 guys fresh. Okay, these guys didn't have to fight. They both got buys into the semifinals, which personally I don't think was fair. I would have preferred, it if they did it the double, had done the double elimination, at that point, because at that point everybody would have been on equal footing, having already fought at least one time, and that's not what they did. So, like I said, that's not fair. But you got, you got so many other people who didn't have to go through what I went through that time, that they were there for only the third, I'm tired, I'm stuttering, bear with me. You didn't have to go through what I went through, and basically it's like, oh, as soon as you showed up, it's like, okay, I'm definitely guaranteed third place at least, or a silver medal. If you lose, it doesn't necessarily matter. You showed up. Doesn't matter the lack of people in the tournament. The tournament was open for everybody. If not everybody took it, that is not your fault. Don't ever let anybody else criticize you because you didn't have that many people to fight. If anything, because of the fact that you didn't have that many people to fight, your career is going to go a lot longer because you're not suffering as many injuries. You're not burning yourself out as much. So for the guys that want to criticize and hate on you for that, just leave it to them, because in the end, it doesn't necessarily matter who won. Or who won the tournament, because as long as you're comfortable, as long as you're learning this art for you, the medals, the belts, that's just a bonus. But you're going out there, you're competing, you're making friends, and it's such a awesome experience and opportunity, to compete. And I can't wait to get back on the mat eventually. But doesn't matter how many people doesn't matter how many people you beat, doesn't matter how many trophies you win. As long as you're in it for the love of jiu-jitsu, you show up, you compete, you get your name out there. That's all that matters, and that's all anybody's gonna remember about you. I'm done talking. You guys have a good day.